My name is Babatunde, and I'll be our host tonight. We've been coming around since I think September 2022 for the program, and here we are on the 10th edition. So to start with, I think I'll just want to implore us to ensure we are part of this program because it's actually an important event. Project management. We'll be talking about projects today, and we know that projects are agents of the modern society. Agents of change, and benefits are delivered via projects. So, and I could remember vividly what Rodney Tuna is a professor of project management, and he said that there is no management career, a successful management career that you can achieve without you managing projects. So if you have been a successful manager professionally, career-wise, that means you have successfully managed projects. And we'll be talking about projects. Definitely project delivers changes and innovations that we want. To start with, we have important people. I would say people that are first in several things here. Yes, people that have been first in what they know how to do best, and they deliver changes that we need, either in the academia or in the private sector. And then there will be our special guest of honor, chairman, and then even the main speaker tonight. I want us to relax, and then please, let's get something out. One beautiful thing about projects is a project you can apply both at the individual level and at the corporate level. So we all know that. So I believe so much, a lot of things we'll say here tonight is applicable to every one of us. So to start with, I want our chairman, who is Engineer Everybody, to kick off by giving his opening remarks. Engineer Everybody, you with us, sir? Engineer Everybody, are you with us, sir? So that we can. Hello? Okay. Still trying to get our chairman coming on board. Okay, Engineer Everybody. Okay, if I can't get Engineer Everybody, then I'll have to move on to the next this next speech, which will be from our special guest of honor, the person of okay. Before I say anything, let me just because she's also a first in several things. So she's a first in several things. So let me just see here what I can do. Okay. Okay, I hope you can see this new screen. Yes. Should be able to see my new screen now. Well, that is Professor Olanike K. Adiyemo. As I said there, she's a professor of veterinary public health and preventive medicine. She's a champion and first in several assignments, definitely first DVC research, innovation, and strategic partnership here at the University of Ibadan, first female to attain that role, first female vegetarian at the AAS and the NAS, and also the first, during the COVID-19, she was in charge of the decontamination and containment team. So, Ma, can you give your welcome address, Ma?
Good day, thank you.
Good evening, Ma.
Yeah, good evening. Please permit me to keep my video off.
All right, that's fine. Well, yeah, you can do
Because of
that.
the time of the day. And so I want to first and foremost commend the department for fostering this alumni interaction. I want to commend the effort of the HOD and all the staff of the department. One of the things that is very, very important to note is that I had a really, really great working relationship with that department, especially Professor Oladokun. And I think up till now, we're still in touch, even when I left the role as Deputy Vice Chancellor. These are one of the things that was very important to me, that for me, alumni, students, when we have them, they are alumni in training. And so universities are strong as the alumni strength. So I commend you for doing the right thing. And I hope the whole of the other department within the University of Ibadan will take an example from you and cultivate the alumni strength. Most of the time with alumni, what we do is that we go to them to beg for money. But the word has gone beyond just give us money. He has gone to partnership and strategically partnering. It has come to using them as all of our strengths. It has come to the fact that most of them are not produced for academia, so they will be in industry. And so it has come to the time when we need to interact to bring the town and the ground together. They have what they have, we have what we have. What you don't have, you cannot give. So we have to recognize the strength of our alumni wherever they are positioned and use the strength to grow the department, to give back to the department, and also to help those who are actually students right now. One of the things that will be very beneficial is not only for this to be an interaction between of the alumni, but to also involve the students that are here to know that once they leave, they will continue all the days of their life, they will continue to be a part of the institution. And that is what is beneficial. So I commend this and I thank you for inviting me to be a special guest of honor. And I look forward to learning, because when you stop learning, then you start dying. So I look forward to learning from today's interaction and to take that and take it forward. Once again, I want to thank the current HOD and everyone within the department for this laudable interaction between the alumni crop and indeed the current student, I hope, and the faculty within the department. Thank you so very much for the opportunity. I revert, Dr. Professor Dedairo. You are still muted.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. Yeah, thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. What I can say is that if you need to move to your next tipping point, just have a chat with I think she's a good motivator, and then if you read the book Tipping Point before, if you need such and they need a motivator to push you, have a chat with Mr. Adeyemo. Thank you so much, Ma. And the next thing here is also a good message from one of our own, mentor, is a counselor, that's our guest of honor, and the person of Professor O.E. Charles Owaba, and I want him to
Apologies, we lost Dr. Adedairo there, but he will soon join us back. Please kindly bear with us. I think the network at his end disconnected. Unfortunately, Professor Charles Awaba is still not in the meeting yet. Probably he will also give his goodwill message when he joins in the course of the presentation. I'm not too sure that our chairman is yet in the meeting for one reason or the other. I think he also will join as soon as he also comes on board. But we want to go further into the session, and I want to call on Engineer Ayodele Awe, who will be reading the citation of our guest speaker tonight. And from there, we'll move on straight into the lecture so that we can also have ample time with our guest speaker tonight. Engineer Ayodele Awe, please, over to you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are now at the point of reading the citation for Engineer Gbenga Oladapo. Engineer Gbenga Oladapo has got about 2 decades of experience across automotive, aerospace, mining, manufacturing, rail signaling industries, and applied research institute with expertise in engineering project management. He has led the design, planning, and delivery of multi-million-dollar projects for some world's prominent corporations. Some of the projects delivered to customers include: 1. Engineering change for Boeing 737 wheel fairing. 2. Tooling switch replacement for Boeing 767 flap rack fairing. 3. Robotic abrasion and composite layout automation of Lockheed F-35 horizontal stabilizer and spar. 4. Emergency exit door subsystem for delivery. Emergency exit door subsystem delivery for Bombardier 5500. Volvo ergonomic redesign. 6. Mining and crane system equipment, manufacturing, and others. He is the principal consultant owner at Transform Project Leadership Incorporated, Vancouver, Canada. The firm exists to transform professional careers and business operations by delivering value through professional training, consulting, and coaching in project and portfolio management and Lean Six Sigma. Gbenga has been an active professional member of PMI Global since 2009, and he was the Director, Professional Development and Special Projects at PMI Manitoba. He has the following expertise designation trainings: 1. BSc UI Industrial and Production Engineering, MSc Almas, Automotive Design Engineering, Licensed Professional Engineer, British Columbia and Manitoba, Canada, Project Management Professional, PMP, Agile Certified Practitioner, PMI ACP, Risk Management Professional, PMI RMP, Certified Six Sigma Black Belt, ASQ, CSSDB. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you our speaker, Engineer Gbenga Oladapo, for this 10th edition of Alumni Lecture. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Engineer Awe. It's a pleasure to see you again. I know we graduated together at the same set. It's been a while now. Over 20 years that we know. So I really appreciate everyone. I don't know if we can hear me well.
Sure, we can.
Yeah, clear. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So as you can see, it's like noon where I'm talking from. I'm talking from Vancouver, British Columbia, and it's summertime. It's 11 16 years. So yeah, it's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be here today. I really appreciate the privilege and the honor to be with you, and I appreciate everyone that special guests, coming, supporting, and showing their heavy weight behind an initiative like this. So I'm really so grateful to be the one to be invited for the 10th edition of this series of alumni guest lectures. Without further ado, I would just share my screen and start a few things that I would like to talk about today. So please let me know whenever you're able to see my screen. Okay, trying to bring out the PowerPoint. Okay. And we all my screen.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir. So today I will be talking about delivering technology innovation with effective project management. And the agenda will be, first of all, really talk about me. I really appreciate that. Then I will talk about project management itself, what it is from the practical perspective. I'll be talking based on the experience of how it's been done, based on whether different systems and different organizations that I've worked for. And also I'll be talking about Industry 4.0 technology pillars, because we're talking about using project management to drive technology innovations. So then I'll be talking about the difference between the conventional and the innovation project management lifecycle. And also I'll be giving some practical tips to managers, engineers, skill professionals. You don't really have to be technical to kind of apply those tips, but they are practical, they are tested, and they are value adding to any individual professional or academia staff, or regardless of where you find yourself, you will see those as as a value to be added to you and to your organization as well. Then I'll be talking about PMI organization, which is the biggest project management organization on the planet. So how we can leverage on such an organization to kind of improve ourselves and become better in whatever we do. Okay, so I will just run quickly through this. These are academics, so we've talked about this, but these are on the top are the companies I've worked for, and below are the companies that I've supported over the years, and under that is a professional organization that I belong to. So it's cutting across aerospace to manufacturing to mining, supposedly to research institutes, and also to IT, cybersecurity, defense. So I want us to have a discussion to start with. Do we think that the project management career will still be relevant in the future with the evolution of Industry 4.0 or artificial intelligence? I don't know if we'll be able to kind of project this so that we can vacancy. Yeah. So you can just say yes or no. Yeah. After a minute, we'll just end the poll. Okay, we'll get 10 people.
Recording in progress.
Thanks for your response. Let it keep coming. Let it keep coming. Okay. Still yet to see a single no. Okay. Let it keep coming. I think we have one no. Okay. Okay. Probably we can stop now. We have 16 entry. Yeah, we can. Let me just share the results. Okay. So thank you very much. Yeah, I like the response. I think we only have someone that said that he doesn't believe so. Said no. Yeah, but that will lead me to the next slide to let us know that, you know, artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0, to be able to kind of implement all these.
In progress.
Sorry. So to be able to implement this, we can see some of the publications and, you know, that was released by PMI Global. They say that by 2030, it will be really, really difficult for the employers to even get enough people working in project management roles. So 25 million people will be needed. New project management employees will be needed by 2030. Actually, in 2017, they were saying it would be like 22 million. So it's at exponential rates. That's a crisis for that. I can say this is a big crisis for the employer of labor right now worldwide. So it's a good news for people that are looking for a career, you know, for the future. So it's the right time to jump into it. You can get hired anywhere you are in the world. From Canada, where I am, so the average salary for a project manager is around 92, 93. And if you have some experience, like maybe 3, 4, 5 years experience, you should be, you know, earning above 6-figure income. That's like a standard right now. So this is far, far, far above most of the discipline that you can think of. In 2017, it was projected that the project manager jobs will grow by 33% in the next 10 years. And it's actually more than that right now. In 2017, so they said that employers will need nearly 88 million individuals working in project management role. So that's really crazy. Just like saying that in every home, you must have somebody who's a professional project manager. So that's how serious it is right now. That, you know, if you make up your mind and you are convinced that this is the path you want to follow, I think there's no limit to what you can do. Project management capability is sought after across a wide range of industry. It doesn't mean that you have to be a mechanical engineer to be a project manager. You have to be a business person. You know, it's across different industries, across IT, manufacturing, engineering, banking. So you can name it. So you can actually switch your career or switch your industry easily. You know, if you're not interested, and still keep your career. So that's how dynamic it is. So you can find exciting career pathway. So pay scale, capture some of the survey, capture a survey that show the pathways. So, and also it was captured that PM is one of the quickest routes to rise to executive positions in the corporate world. So why that? I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we progress in the lecture. The reason is being that project manager have like understanding of how the process in the entire organization works, how the input and the output into different organizational units, how this works, and it works. It's not only communicating vertically across different levels of management, it communicates horizontally as well across units, across the organization departments. So somebody in that kind of a position that can speak so many languages, it's one of the greatest assets that a company can have. So businesses are now being managed as though they are series of projects. So one of our clients recently used a senior manager in an organization for reaching out to us, taking her through the training. So we discovered that the job that she's actually asking her to do right now, which is a deviation from what she was hired to do, is purely project management. So the executives, they don't really give targets like that anymore. They give projects. So, and even if the executive give targets, so when you turn that target into project, you become a star in any organization you find yourself. So project management is that valuable. So in the world that we are right now, project management is not mandatory for survival of organization. Why am I saying this? I'll be putting in scenarios so that we understand what I'm saying. There was one time, one of my past employers, they were bidding for a contract from one of the OEMs, very big OEMs. So then I discovered during the bidding phase, they were checking so many things, checking our bid, checking our status. Then they moved into project management structure that we had. So we got the bid. So then I was not curious that how did we get the bid? It was just because they're not just looking for people that could do it. They're looking for an organization that have a structure, a project management structure in place. So yeah, you may be very, very good at what you do. You may have technical people that are really, really capable of delivering the contract and delivering the value, right? But if you are not set up, your organization is not set up, project management wise, I tell you, they are not going to trust what you can do. So organizations that don't really have project management structure in place, customers are not going to want to risk their contract, their revenue, their benefits, their financial projection because of it be a risk to them. So I would say that organizations that don't have project management structure, after a while, they may be winning $50,000 projects, $100,000 projects, but when it comes to winning the big bullseye project, like 20 million projects, so they definitely need to see that you have a solid, mature project management structure and methodology. So the sooner the better for organizations to start investing into it. This is not just corporate organization, but any organization, whether it's academia, whether it's banking, whether it's not for profit, whether it's a government organization, it's the sooner the better. So project management and productivity are now interrelated. So executives who have discovered that if they enforce project management and put it in place, they see that they see the impact right away in real time on the bottom line. And also project management is really, really fantastic for anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur. You want to start up your venture. So it's something that can help you. That tool can really help you. to get ahead quickly. And also in the personal life too, it will make you more relevant, adding value to even if you are volunteering for your different organization, it will make you more effective. So the unique role of the project manager. So what's one thing we think makes the role of a project manager different from a line manager? So I tell you what's the difference is. So you can see on the left, this is from Arod Pesner, so one very good project management expert as well. So I just took a picture from his text, and because it's one of the things that can really express my thinking in this line of how project manager is so different. It is different. If you look at an organization, you have different level of management, and also you have different functional gaps. So an organization actually is like an operational area. So the executives only talks to the middle managers, the middle manager only talks to supervisor, the supervisor only talks to the laborers, well, people that get the job done. Right. So a structure like this, which has been for ages, it's not efficient in getting the work done quickly because people don't speak the same language. So, but then this is where the project managers come in. So they are the game changer. Yeah, they speak all the languages. They talk to. So you can see the project manager here, he will talk to the general manager directly one-on-one, talking to procurement manager, talking to estimator, talking to bringing a bonding to an entire organization, causing work to flow, not just vertically, which is traditional, but horizontally. So he support the core team that get the job done, the operational workers. He obtained approval and agreement for the line managers, and also reports the progress of the project to the executives, so to the people who see level. So you can see how powerful it is. It's a very demanding job because you need to learn to speak so many languages and understand what everyone is doing, an opportunity to kind of learn so many skills, because you'll be relating with the subject matter expert. So I'm now going to technology. So I'm going to be talking about, the project manager exists, but how can we leverage the project management to drive technology innovation? So based on a major school of thought believes that there are 9 pillars of technology innovation, talking about industry 4.0. So we have the cybersecurity area, and that's each of these pillars are really, really big and they are vast. So I'm not gonna really be telling you a lot about all this today. I'll just make this available. You can go do your research. There's a lot of information, around like that you can find on all each individual, augmented reality, big data, autonomous robot. You can find them on the internet. But this exists today. For anyone that knows, that's familiar with any of these tech pillars, I would like you to respond to this survey. I think the media can help us project that survey. Provide 1 to 3 if you're going to be implementing any of all these 9. Just provide 1 to 3 pillar for innovation that you are deploying right now, whether in your organization, whether personally, whether in any project that you're deploying right now, whether you're deploying big data or cloud computing. Just select 3 out of what we have. And if you're not going to be deploying it now, if you're going to be deploying it in the next 1 to 3 years, can you please help us answer that? If media can help us project. And if you're not deploying anything right now, or you're not familiar with any, so you can just leave it blank. Okay, I can see that some of these are coming in. Okay, yeah, it's coming in. All right, this is really good. Let's keep us the, yeah, let's keep it coming. Okay, so I think we can end the poll now. Okay, so I don't know if we're able to see the results. I'm trying to see which one is big data, 63%, cybersecurity, 56%. Okay, then after that, I just want to look at the first three, then system integration. Internet of Things, 50%. All right. Thank you very much, media. So it's really good to know that. So of all these three, I would say that, the additive manufacturing, I need to turn this off. So additive manufacturing, autonomous robot, cybersecurity, and simulation are the four core ones that I've worked with in recent times, and I'm still working with. So it will be really interesting to just talk about one of them, which is the world first autonomous pizza robot. So as engineers, so we are, our society depends on us to solve problems using, engineering, design, and engineering analysis, and deploying that problem for people to kind of, deploying the solution for people to kind of see, and generating revenue, creating jobs, as a result of solving those kind of problems. I know that we have so many issues that we need to deal with in getting that done, but we still need to understand our role, that our role is to solve problems. So this autonomous pizza robot is solving the problem of labor availability as a result of COVID. So they couldn't find anybody to work anymore. The restaurants were shut down, right? And I know that this autonomous pizza robot actually happened before then, but many other in many other local countries, cities are now adopting that. So solving the problem. So even when after the COVID restriction was lifted, people that moved on from the restaurant industry, food industry, they couldn't really go back again. They already found other jobs, different gigs on the internet that, earning more money than what they were earning before. So this came and in solving a problem, a societal problem. And if you look at this solution, so we can start looking at that solution and begin to break it down into different subsystems. So you can see that there's a universal robot. That's a unique robot. It's a cobot. A universal robot is different from the industrial robot that we're used to, in the 80s, 70s, 90s, right? They were put in the cage. But when we talk about a universal robot, it's a robot that can walk side by side with human beings. So you can see that there's no protection. It's not put in a cage. You can actually, if a chef calls sick today, you can actually plug in a universal robot into that same space. But it's not that straightforward though. because you need to still kind of do some calibration, making sure that the location is and one thing about one of the challenges is that this works in control environment. Everything has to be in a specific location. And so we understand that, but this gets the job done. There's consistency, there's repeatability, there's reproducibility, with using this kind of solution. There's then the factor too, which is these tools that we usually attach to this robot. So a good thing about universal robot is that it talks to most of these tools. So the effort to be able to configure that robot to work with those already out of the shelf tools in the industry is kind of easy. So this can easily be implemented to solve any problem, whether it's coffee shop, whether it's, you can use it to solve problems domestically, to be honest. So, and also another subsystem in that was the ordering machine, where people would just go, you select your pizza menu and you just order like that. So that's another system, like you develop an app for it that will talk to robots, that robots can make exactly what you're ordering. And another good thing is that the cycle time, is always dependable, reliable. And also, so the app development, I've talked about that. Then you need to develop the algorithm for the process itself. The pizza should have a particular temperature, it's a very tight tolerance temperature, not the amount of time it needs to stay in the oven, needs to be baked. And also you need to create robotic programming and automation, whether you want it to be controlled by PLC, you want it to be controlled by the controller itself that comes with the robots. So, and also safety is a very big deal. And the part of the world that I'm in currently, food safety too has to be regulated, the environment needs to be regulated. And also there's just so many requirements, a few requirements that you need to take into consideration. If you need to it depends on the layout. So you need to maybe scan the entire facility where this will be working, put it in as part of the input into the algorithm. So these are things that can happen, This is just one of them. So then, now that I've talked, went over what's an example of the innovation project. So let's start with a conventional project management. So from PMI, PMI stated that there are actually 5 cycles, of project management that we can have. But to be honest with you, this is a very, very good standard, to a guide, like a generic guide for anyone. But if you visit any organization or look into any organization process, it's not exactly this. I've never even seen any organization that use exactly this. Our project management process lifecycle, the initiation, planning, monitoring, execution, project. No, different organizations, they have their culture, their structure that shapes how they structure their process. Yeah. So, but the good thing about this is that when you look into an organization, you will see the reflection of all these there. Some organizations will have 5, will have 6 life cycles and 7 life cycles. So, but it's always good to kind of understand, the big picture. And when you now get into the specific, you can say, oh, this belongs to that, or this belongs to planning, this belongs to initiation. It may even call it different names. So I've talked about, just talked about the conventional project management, but when you are now talking about innovation project management, it's a different ballgame entirely. So you as a project manager, you start from the idea generation. So for instance, back to this initiation, you as a project manager and conventional project, you just collect the budget. This is the budget, this is the people you will be working with, do kickoff meetings and drive the project. But when it comes to innovation project management, you have to, generate the idea. You need to go after the money, package the proposal, apply for funding, most of the time from the government or partly with some other organization that will sponsor your innovation. Then when you now get all the money, you get a green light and everybody, you get commitment from different sponsors, then you can now start the conceptual design. You can start the, which is the initiation, the planning, the execution, which is the delivery. And the end goal is the commercialization of the solution. So to kind of spread out what your ROI will look like, return on investment, to people that are sponsoring you. And the good one thing I want to really emphasize is that most of all these things are almost the same. The initiation, planning, and they are almost the same as what you have in conventional project, but the execution is kind of different a little bit. But let me show us a framework that is really popular with innovation. This framework was invented by NASA. So, and it's called technology readiness level when you're executing. So you start from the research. You can see the research and 3 levels of research. And most of this research happens in the university. But it's really interesting that sometimes you have this research, dedicated research department in big organizations as well. But, I'm going to be talking about a little bit about why innovation project management can be challenging when it comes to getting support from industry, from organizations and industry organizations, especially private sector. And also the development, which starts in the lab. You validate your solution in the lab. Like, for instance, looking at that robotic solution that they are deploying to the pizza environment. You can start with in a lab, making sure that everything is connected, the solution is working, you're testing it, do different iteration on it, try to check, calibrate and check the points and set the program up, and take the measurement of the real environment and still do it in the lab. So deployment will be now, you're now moving into the operational environment, you're taking it to the production environment. And deployment can be challenging in the sense that there's revenue going on, the existing pizza is going on. So you want to kind of find the best time to be able to deploy your solution that will not disturb the operations of the system. So stop they will not have to shut down and tell customer, oh, we are not in service because we are deploying. That may not be the case. So I will just talk a little bit about my tips. So this is part of my big takeaway now. So I'll break down my tips into 4 categories. So these tips are practical tips, things that you will meet when you're managing projects. Everything I'm saying is not from Facebook. It's all these tips are just practical that happens. So we can apply them directly. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. So the project launch, the detailed design, which is the planning, the R&D development, and the project communication. So I'm providing tips for those different areas. So when you're starting a project, number 1 tip is do not spend time on any project, even if they have discussed about it, you've talked about it. Get an approval first, get an agreement from stakeholders, before you progress. It applies to anything, moving from one location, from one country to another is a project. That is a project. So you don't just carry your bag one day and move and say you're moving to another one without talking to your family, you know. So get an approval first. Don't spend time. Don't put people resources on a project without a project charter. So they can call it different names. You know, don't just be too excited, you know, start spending time, money, and effort on any endeavor core project without an approval and agreement. Very important. So second thing that I need to let you know is that you need to know what your definition of done is. As a project manager, you need to, that's I can overemphasize that. How do you know what the definition of done is? You grab the contractual agreement that you sign, grab it, but anything that has to do with the project contract that you sign, contractual agreement, purchase order, you know, and business case. You read it inside out. You read it many times. Read it until you become what is inside. That when people are asking for what did they sign for, what is the objective, they don't even need to go check the book. They ask you. So you are the source of truth. So that's another tip. That's second tip on this when you're initiating project. Then communicate project benefit repeatedly to stakeholders. There was one time I was leading a project, and the project was we already gotten towards the end of the project, and boss just pulled me aside and said, "I'm going to cancel this project. I have another project in the pipeline." I said, "What? We spent close to $1 million on this project. You want to cancel it?" Right. So from that point on, I begin to, you know, whenever I'm providing a report back to the executives, I put the benefits. So what are benefits? These are the things that I am going to lose. Our organization is going to lose. You know, everybody is going to lose if we cancel the project or if the project stops. So you need to make sure you capture all those. You need to articulate it and make sure you put it before stakeholders every single time. It will make them to have a second project. Why we're doing it, why your project needs to be supported. Understand your organizational structure. You can actually be a very good project manager in a simple organizational structure and move to another organization that operates with, let's say, weak metrics and be a failure. So you need to kind of understand where you are moving from one organization to the other and understand with the authority you will have as a program manager, you know, understand the culture of where you're going to and see how you can actually fit in, adjust and adapt. So a tip for planning phase is always know who is doing what and when. I can overemphasize that. In the organization, you will itemize, so this needs to be done, this needs to be done, but you don't kind of get people to commit to when they are going to deliver that. So that one is always missing. As a project manager, always make people to commit to when. And when you are planning, use simple planning tools. You know, there are just so many tools there. If your project is not big, you know, you don't really need to be using complicated tools. The simpler the tool, the better. But when your project is so vast and big, you need to leverage on, you know, good tools, effective tools. So there are MS Project, Primavera, Jira. So you need to make sure you are comfortable with the tools. The tools should help you. You should not be struggling with tools. And also do gap analysis. So what capability do I have? What do I need to contract out to other people, you know, to kind of bring in as a deliverable to my project? Then when you're executing, you need to watch out for assumptions. Very, very important. Assumptions can kill your project. Project that is so good can be, you know, can just be canceled because of assumption. Let me give you an example. So one of my past employers, so they there was a policy that from the head office in Europe that all the projects within the system that's being contracted out to other to contractors should be transferred to other locations that have the capability. So our location had that capability, so they send the project to us. So when they send the project to us, so they sent us all the drawings, all the engineering drawings and all that. So our executive instructed us that you don't need to think about this. There's no need to review the drawings and validate it. They've been building this structure for 20 years. So just, process the drawings, drive the POs, drive the manufacturing order, drive everything because we are late. So, and one of the processes is to kind of look and review the engineering drawings. So, but because we're late, so we assume that the drawings will be good. But at the end of the day, so a couple of weeks and months into the project, we discovered that, oh, most of the drawings were wrong, right? We ordered frames that are different sizes, and I'm not sure, I think we lost up to like, I'm not sure, I think 1.5 million because of that. So we need to start all over again and start looking all over again. So we now started doing what's the root cause analysis. The root cause analysis reviews that the drawings that we got from those contractors that were doing it before were the old drawings that we gave them 20 years before. So they just returned the 20-year-old drawings back to our organization. While the current drawings that they are using to build the system, they kept it as the IP. So that was a costly assumption. Oh, wait. we thought we get in the right level. So check for assumptions, capture major risk. So that was a big risk, right? So we could have captured the risk and say, okay, this drawing could be wrong, right? So this drawing could be wrong. So how can we respond to that risk? So we respond to that risk and say, okay, let's go into this drawing. Let's pick the vital field, maybe 20% of the drawings that are the most expensive, maybe you can look at the motor, which is really expensive, the drawings around the motor assembly. You can look at the compressor assembly. So these are really the most expensive part of it, 80% of the cost of the entire system. So, and that would take us maybe 2 weeks to review rather than 8 weeks to review the entire. So that can be a response plan. So another good thing when you're in execution phase is regular review do regular review based on the communication plan that you have in the beginning. So you said, monthly review with the executives, weekly review with project team members, weekly reviews with the contractors, right? So based on the requirements, what does your project require? Then take responsibility for your project. Because one day my boss just called me and said, don't bring all the issues to me. Why do you bring all the issues to me? I said, I thought you should be aware. He said, no. That's why we hire you. I hire you to solve the problem. So when issue comes up in project, it comes every single time. So first of all, he told me, sit down, think about it. What can I do? So what can I do to this issue? As a person, as a leader, as a project leader, as a project manager. So if you think you cannot solve the problem, if you can solve the problem, good. Thumbs up. Because okay, this is the problem, solve it. And he said, if I cannot, then go to your team and do a problem-solving section and solve and find a way to solve the problem. So they find a way, get alternatives, different options on different alternative solutions for the problem. Then you can now present, if you now need, if the decision on that requires, somebody at the top, then you can bring the solution to them. They will look at solution 1, 2, 3 and choose the one they want and finance that. So that's all in it. So So a tip is that when you have a problem, be the first person to address the problem. If you cannot, then call your team. If your team cannot, then you cannot escalate that. Oh, so you don't take everything to the executive. You only take something that represents, oh, my word is coming down. My word is coming to an end. I think that should be what's presenting to people that whose pay scale is maybe $300 per hour. Project communication tips, be transparent. So there was one time I was having challenge with the delivery dates. I was having schedule challenge, and we are going to be the loading dates for the assembly. So every other component in the aircraft will just be ready. So I guess, well, our component will be ready. So trying to let them know. So that was long time ago, not recently. So, but it was like, oh, we don't want to look bad to the customer, but so you need to let them know it's a problem. So we need to be transparent. At the end of the day, we let them know. So they'll say, oh, what you're actually looking for, we have it in store. We can give you some spares. So that's our customer acceptance. And from that, they kind of trust us because we're transparent. Another tip is praise publicly, recruit privately. So it means that when somebody is really performing well, yeah, praise them among the team, like the executive. But people that are kind of, having problems, struggling, so work with them, show empathy, and, we don't recruit them in email, copying people. Yeah. It's not there. So confirm how to engage your stakeholders. That is beyond the scope, but I would say who is paying for who is your sponsor, who is paying for it, who is signing off on your milestone, milestone gate. So he's going to be using, the deliverable of your project in the end, gather all this together, ask them again, who else should be involved. It's very, very important that you have everybody on board before you kick off your meeting. So unique features of its technology innovation project, like the project that will be driven by those 9 pillars. So the goal of innovation projects is not closure like conventional, it is commercialization. So the reason why we're developing the technology is to drive this technology into production and make it to the generating revenue and recovering the return on investment back to the sponsor or back to the society. So project manager on innovation projects, they need to understand the technology. They need to understand the business. Unlike production support projects, you have SME, subject matter expert working with you. Probably you don't really need to know the technology, because it's already, it's already matured, it's already in revenue, it's already in service, right? So yeah, anyone that wants to drive technology projects, you must know the technology yourself inside. That's a key difference. So most organizations don't prioritize production support projects. So they prioritize production support project because of the bottom line, right? So they want to make sure that they meet customers' commitment. So they always relegate innovation project to the second priority. So something to keep in mind. That's why most of the time they don't really fund it, because innovation project can take 2 years, more than that. It depends on the project. So can take a long time to start kind of generating revenue. So the investor are not so patient to wait for that. So something to keep in mind. Technology innovation projects, they are mostly public funded, at least from this part of the world I am right now. So it's social responsibility of the government to kind of support innovation projects. Because in the end, whatever revenue will come and jobs will be created and all that. So we'll still come back to people paying tax to the government. So another thing to keep in mind is that innovation project is not like conventional project that, so you get your organization, get a project, you get a customer paying for it, and you have your team with you within the organization, drive the team to get the deliverable and close the project. It's more than that when you're managing innovation projects. Innovation projects, you can have people from different organizations joining, speak different languages. It can be really, really complicated. Even right from the beginning, you have multi-party agreements. What IP is coming out from this? How are we managing it? Background IP, foreground IP, sideground, what is coming out from this. We need to make sure that, we're managing those IP, people will go back and forth, lawyers will be involved. So all these things can actually delay keeping the project itself, so because, it can be complicated. So you need to really, really be a seasoned project manager to manage innovation project in some cases. So now I'm going to PMI. So to be able to kind of start off, if you've been managing project before, I think you may be able to qualify for being okay, this is, first of all, you can, to actually leverage your PMI global. So you need to first be a member. Then you begin to get some of these benefits here, right? So if you have more questions about this, you can reach out to me. I can guide you in the right way. So there's PMI in Nigeria. So this is the allocation. They're actually the most of being the largest collection of program managers in Nigeria. So you can reach out to them. You can reach out to me too. I can kind of connect you internationally. So these are the different certifications that you can get into depending on where you are in your career. Right. And the recap from this presentation: project management is now important for the survival of organizations. So if organizations don't invest in project management, they disappear. So that's it. Yeah, that's it. So you're not going to really get sponsors. We're not going to invest into it because they see it as risk. Project management skills are now critical. Like I said, you get hired, as a manager, senior manager, executive, but the tool that you need to shine, to be a star, to be effective, it's actually project management. If you have project management skills, regardless of where you are, and you apply it, practically apply it. I mean, practical project management, I'm not talking about theoretical. Yeah, you will be effective, regardless of your role. That's how it is. So, and it's one of the highest paying, like I said before, it's highest paying rewarding skill. So you earn more than any other role that you can have. If to effectively deliver technology innovation project, you need to really understand the technology. You need to kind of, go deep into it, dig into it so much, and be an authority in it, to manage it. So unlike conventional, in fact, I know if we finished, it was the same set in UI. It was like an MBBS graduate, a doctor, but when he got into industry, he was managing engineering projects. He didn't have to kind of know so much. He has SMEs working with him, but he cannot try to jump into innovation project because that will need his leadership combined with technology, technology to be able to talk to you. So connect with PMI, like I said before. So if you want to connect with me, this is my contact. You reach out to the the organizers of this event, and you'll be able to connect your body. I think thank you. I don't know if anyone has any questions. This is time that I can take them.
All right, thank you so much. I think that's a good one. It's been a wonderful one. And please, we're also streaming live on YouTube, so you can as well join us. And then for post lecture viewing, you can also check YouTube, the YouTube handle for the department. I know we'll have questions, and many of us, because this is, as I said, we are in a projectized economy. The whole world is running a project economy. So that is a truth. So, but before we go on to questions and engineer that were answering us, I want a chairman remarks. If Engineer Yubode is with us, please, you have your remarks, sir. He's also a project manager in the general manager of Ondo State Water Corporation. So I know he handles a lot of projects. So if there is Engineer Yubode with us, please, for comments. I think I saw him quite not too long. If it was okay. All right, okay. And then if also comment from our special guest of honor, that's Professor Adeyemo Ma. If you can also give us your thoughts in the lecture. If you're still with us. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm not sure she's. All right. Okay, ma. Yes, you can give your thoughts, ma. Yes, ma.
Yes, I'm still here. I want to congratulate Engineer Oladapo for his extensive presentation. I learned a few things because we all know that 15 years to the end of your retirement, you should start thinking about your retirement and your retirement plan. So project management is one of the things that we don't think about, but like he said, is embedded in almost all professions. So not only did I come here as a special guest, I also benefited from his presentation. Although I had some challenge with my internet, I kept going in and out, but I still benefited significantly. And I thank you for the great presentation. I was just about to leave when you called my name because I didn't see that I needed to say anything anymore. I really don't have any questions, and I will just be happy to have like a transcript of the presentation if you have it, so that I'll be able to catch up on the part I missed. Once again, I thank the organizers for inviting me, and I thank you most sincerely. Over to you, Professor Dedaro.
Well, thank you so much, ma. Thank you, ma. And okay, so we just have to go on for the question and answers now. So if you have questions, please, Engineer Oladapo, please be on standby. Questions will be coming. You can put in, okay, there's a question here from Engineer Motunde Muiwa. Okay, Professor Owaba is here, as I said before, please, that's our father. Please, Engineer Oladapo, just stand by while I humbly invite Professor Owaba for your goodwill message, sir. Sir, you can give your talk, sir. Sir, you can give your thoughts, sir. Your thoughts on the lecture or your goodwill message, sir. That's our esteemed Professor Charles Owaba, sir. You need to unmute yourself, sir. And, okay. All right, maybe we will kindly unmute yourself, sir. All right, maybe we'll go back for him to speak to us. Yes, there's a question from Motunde Muiwa, that's in our lecturers. Engineer Oladapo, we can say thank you for. I'd like to ask, what is the place of portfolio and program manager? Place of portfolio and a program manager in project management. So maybe you can say one or two things about that, please.
All right, sir. Project portfolio management has to do with when we. Okay, I mean. All right. So can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So when the portfolio and program management is actually for project managers that have experience about managing project before. But the requirement is that in portfolio management, the organization will have the list of all the projects that have been approved or that are in pipeline. So that needs to be deployed and released, to the project managers to drive. So people that manage that manage the priority. So which one is the right project to launch now, which one is not the right project to launch, based on the business case associated with each of those projects. So people in that kind of position will be doing managing the portfolio of the project. So after the project is being deployed, sometimes some of the projects will have so many things in common that you need to kind of manage together, or maybe you have a customer in the same location from, let's say, from Singapore, a particular country. You have a very, very committed, customer with long-standing relationship. I want to put all the projects for that customer together and manage it together to generate benefits. So that's when you have a program manager managing that. So most of the time, the portfolio managers and program manager, they lead the project managers to kind of drive this project to achieve these individual benefits for the organization. And to be honest with you, it depends on this. Yeah, these things is different, from organization to organization, but generically, that's the way it is. That's the difference.
Right, thank you. And then I have another question from Luatu Singh Alashi. She said, do you have tools or mobile applications that are used to help manage timings and resource scaling in daily execution of projects?
Yeah, there are just so many tools out there, that one can use to manage projects. Mobile, that can just be like a daily apps that there are just so many of them that one can use. There's Google apps and all that. But when you are talking about really managing projects, I would say that most of those tools that we use, like MS Project, Primavera, they are not really being used extensively on mobile yet. I don't see them on mobile yet. Maybe that's one of the things that we're looking forward to in the few years to come. The evolution of project management, to begin to see those apps, having their app on mobile.
All right, okay. And then another one from the last person says, are there significant differences or similarities between the roles of a technology innovation project manager and a product manager?
Okay, so product manager is actually a role when it comes to IT project management. So actually interface with the customer to be able to deliver the requirements and prioritize the work for the development. So for technology management, project manager is kind of overseeing varieties of projects, is wider. Like I said, different innovation projects, they are more technical, more engineering based, not just software development, but there's hardware, there's syncing across different subsystems. So product manager is always so close to, it's associated with software development. So technology innovation project manager will be across all the systems, software development, hardware, automation. Yeah, it's wider. That's what I would say is the difference between the product manager and the technology innovation manager.
Thank you. So the questions are coming in, so I really want you to answer, so I will be trying to hold them. And also there is another one, relationship between agile project management and the innovation project. I mean, where does it come in? Where does agile comes in?
Okay, so agile is a mindset, it's a framework, and that was first deployed in software and IT project management. So for now, we're using some of the flavor in that industrial project as well. So when you're managing agile, when you're using agile, I would say that in the industry, there's no like 100% agile at the moment, because it depends on the structure of the system where you're working with. So, but what I usually recommend is hybrid, that you look at the project requirements and what do I need to use. I take these tools from agile, I take these tools from predictive and combine them together to effectively deliver the projects. I don't know if that answers the question.
All right, because the questions are coming and I really wanted to answer.
Yeah.
I know there is, I know PMI has collaboration with most North American schools where they bring in their, this question is before what one of our professors, esteemed Professor Badokun asked. I know they have a collaboration whereby they look at your curriculum, then they kind of find a fitting for you, so that what you've done before, then if you're now coming for the professional, for other PMP, CAPM, all of those things, it comes in. So like what they're doing and ICANN in Nigeria, transfer of credit. So based on that, from that ground, it's not saying that is there a way the department can collaborate, you guiding, I think it's called GAP or something, GAP, something like that.
Yeah, it exists. Absolutely.
Yeah, it exists.
Absolutely.
Whereby department collaborate with PMI in this area of curriculum development and certification, so that you have done something here, so we just fit in, then you do something little, and then you have so is that any way you can
absolutely. That's a possibility. I've actually seen so many like when we were in the last annual conference that we usually have in Vegas, we saw in one of the booths that schools coming in, even business schools, they will come and they will say, this credit, when you have your PMP, then we can transfer PMP as a credit into our curriculum. So you don't need to do maybe 15 credits and all that. I think since it's existing, so it's a possibility for you. I guess there'll be an assessment, and it's something that we can connect and evaluate whether it's connecting with.
Okay, thank you so much. I know because most of these things you get to into them when you attend these global convention, global conferences. You get to, and then Mike, I will ask a question before Emmanuel. Okay, my own question is: I know that there are modern projects, there are traditional projects. The traditional are maybe the repetitive one, the construction project, and then the modern and what you talk about today, technology and all of that coming in, because they don't have a fit. Anything can happen. So it becomes on what is, since innovation is a product of change. You don't know what will happen, but project management is structured to help. So my question now is, when we talk about innovation, technological projects, projects of the future, what is the damage that organizational culture and structure can do to, there's something, this is the way, this is the rule of the game. That's what I mean by organizational culture, organizational structure. That is, and you are bringing in innovation. Innovation is like a change wrapped in different colors. So what damage do you think? What damage do you think the rule of the game, culture, structure can do for those innovative projects to thrive or to succeed? So you have any experiences? How did you go about it and the rest?
Yes. Yeah, so that's a very good question for sure. But the problem, the challenges in the industry is kind of different. So number one challenge is that we want to make sure, industry wants to make sure that they fulfill their commitment. They do what they told customers that they were going to do. Right. So, and the focus will be production, operation. We don't really have time to kind of look at, innovation for the next future. So until something forces them, until the, let's say, customer or business requirement is forcing them, to kind of launch those. So that's one challenge that I would say is coming up. The people, the investor, they want profit, right? And they want it now. They don't want to wait, so they cannot wait, for any future watch, like say in 5 years, they can't wait. They're impatient. So that's one of the biggest challenges for the private organization. But I think that's where the public organization should come in. Public organization, there's no pressure like that in public organization. That's why public organization should champion that, and integrate that into a requirement for the private organization. I think in a way, it should be driven by the public. It should be driven by the government. So the government should be adding codes, requirements, quality, into the system. So then when it's now becoming a regulation, then the industry, private industry will begin to line up together with that. That's what I think, it's the way.
Because I know that, innovative products they are all around us now. Just like the simple example is the COVID-19. It's all about project management. The drug release, drugs that takes for 7 years being crashed to just 6 months, things like that. And a lot of people are. So I know. Thank you so much. Please, we can still send in our questions. Another one here is for technology innovations, have you had to use a different approach than agile project management? That's another question from, I think, Emmanuel. Okay. For technology innovations, have you had to use a different approach than agile project management method?
Okay, so for technology innovation, you need to kind of be very sound in both. So because there are different subsystems in it, there are parts in which is software development, and there's parts in which that you need to create codes, depending on the requirements, and there are parts that you need to kind of build the software and the hardware, fabrication, assemble the hardware and let them talk together. So whenever you are managing the team that are creating the software, you can use Agile. But when you are managing the team that are building the hardware, building the structure, the assembly, sub-assembly, you cannot use Agile for that. So you need to be very sound.
Thank you so much. So let's just hold. I want Professor, esteemed Professor. I hope he's our teacher. So I want him also to give us his good message. Sir, you can omit yourself and give your okay. Charles, sir, you are now. You can now give your thoughts, sir.
Hearing me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, it's my joy today, like every father will, when his own students or professional are outpacing him. I've had a lecture, and I feel very, very happy that those of you who left here have no roadblock in progress. I think this lesson should go to everybody. Unless you are able to talk about innovation in the manner I have had here, there could be roadblocks. But I think the program we have given you people gives you room to outperform us. That's the best part of our program, that you are going to always go do better. I want to thank Engineer Oladako for what he has done to remember us. But I want to remember us even more. Anytime you come to Nigeria or Africa, don't forget to come to the department and let there be interaction between you and the lecturers, between you and the students. I say thank you to the organizers. I don't want to keep you too long, but I am fully pleased that this is taking place. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. That's our esteemed professor, is I think the father of many lecturers, an outstanding and renowned industrial engineer in Nigeria and beyond. As I said, he's still active in research after retirement. Thank you so much, sir. Maybe one more or two questions before. Any other questions? All right. So why would Engineer Adapo, maybe your final take on this topic?
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think I strongly am a strong advocate of project management, especially for people with technical background, because that opens up a lot of wide opportunity for you to kind of break into, climb very faster. So I strongly recommend this. And also, like, I appreciate everyone today, and especially those that pulled this together, and far more importantly, Professor Charles Owava for investments over the years. Everything that we received from when I was in undergraduate industrial engineering, I tell you, they were really, really valuable in the industry, even though we didn't even know the value of it. Like, for instance, what I was talking about, like building a business case, using the MPV, the industrial economics course that we did. I did not use it until maybe 10, 15 years after, and I saw how powerful it was. Everything that we did was so powerful. I'm a black belt, ASQ. So all those quality courses that we did, sequencing, yeah, they are really solid foundation to where we are today. So I would say I'm very grateful. I really appreciate the effort and the support of everyone that participated. I will definitely communicate my little contribution, to Pastor and to Professor Professor Victor and the organizers. I'll definitely I'll let them know. I've seen the needs, and I'll make sure I communicate with them what I have made up my mind to contribute to the department.
Thank you so much, Engineer. It was good to see you. Thank you. Wish you very best. Thank you so much. So, before we conclude this evening, the next item is the vote of thanks, and that is from acting HOD. That's from Dr. Mrs. Bolaniwa. Jisola Bolaniwa. Ma, can you give your vote of thanks, Ma? Here, vote of thanks.
Good evening to our distinguished guests.
Right, okay.
In persons of the chairman, special guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude the IPEA 10th Alumni Lecture Series, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to all who, in one way or the other, contributed to the success of this program. We appreciate our able special guest of honor, Professor Olanike Adeyemo, Pioneer DVC RISP, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. Thank you, Ma, for your valuable participation. To our guest of honor, Professor O.E. Charles Owaba, former Dean Faculty of Technology, University of Ibadan. We are indeed grateful for your esteemed presence in today's lecture and your constant contributions towards the growth of the department. Also, to the chairman of this 10th IPEA lecture series, Engineer Adebisi Oyebode, General Manager, Ondo State Water Corporation. We say thank you for honoring us with your presence and for your great support. Our sincere appreciation also goes to distinguished guest speaker, Engineer Gbenga Oladapo, Principal Consultant, TPL Incorporated, Vancouver, Canada, for sharing your wealth of knowledge and expertise on delivering technology innovation with effective project management. We cannot help but appreciate the great effort of the driving team for the lecture series. Your efforts are recognized and greatly appreciated. Also to our fantastic moderator tonight, Dr. V.O. Odedairu, we say a big thank you for creating time for us, despite the fact that you're very busy. This is much appreciated. Also, I want to thank everyone for taking time out amidst your tight schedules to attend today's lecture. I believe together we can make a change in our field and also improve our personal growth through these impactful lectures. Thank you all and remain blessed. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, man. All right. Okay. I think we are rounding up now, and I want to remind us that come August 11, that's 2023, we'll have the next edition. We coincide with the number 11, the 11th edition. We appreciate taking time to be part of this 10th edition. We've been climbing from one. We thank God for the strength and grace, and we thank once again our special guest of honor, chairman, the host, the IP engagement team. The post-lecture recording is available on YouTube. We can start checking after now. And before then, we should also be on the lookout on various platforms for the title, the guests, the arrangement for the 11th edition. Thank you so much, everybody. I wish you all the very best and have a restful evening.